Let's fast forward. You're in discovery now. You're discovery, fact finding, something why the client needs insurance. You get the hey man, can you get to the quotes, please? Like, can we get to the quotes faster? Like, I don't really have much time right now. Can you just get to the quotes, please?
Yeah, Mike, I would love to, sir. It honestly, it's not really a one size fits all. You ever get those like mailers from, you ever get like a mailer from like Globe Life or Mutual of Omaha? Have you gotten those like quotes in the
All
mail?
all the time.
Right, I'm sure you do, and you see those on the TV. So the difference here is rather than trying to cram you into a policy, we're actually going to match a policy to you. When you find those mailers, that's not taking into account your age or your health. It's going to come with a 2-year waiting period because of that. We're looking for is to find you day one and make sure we're actually finding you the lowest cost.
Welcome to the Breakfast Club call. I am your host today. You got me, the high energy guy. Yes, it's 8:30 in the morning, but I love it. Let's go. We have a special duo here today. So, with no further ado, we have Mr. Clark Stanley. We have his brother, his counterpartner, Mr. Jack Stanley. And they're going to come on the line today and share with you guys how they were able to submit over 40,000 in business in 1 week, in 7 days. 7 days in 7 days, y'all. So, and their goal together, guys, their goal together is to do over 150,000. Mr. Jack Stanley, Clark Stanley, how you guys feeling today?
Mike, we're good. I don't know if we're going to be able to match that energy, but we're going to try. We're happy to be here, man.
I love it. I love it. So, let's start with this because this is a sales training call. Some agencies have called people just talking about philosophizing and just talking about just business and like just there's no actual real what the young folks say, no game giving. So I know you guys are coming to give the game today, the sauce. You know what I mean? What the young folks say. So let's hop into the mindset because I believe in this business. It is 90% mindset, 90% belief. The 10% is a skill set. Once again, this business, and once you get to the business, realize it's 90% mindset. Jack,
Hmm.
Clark, talk about it. Where is the mindset shift coming in that for you both to collectively write, just two people, write over 150,000 in sales this month of November? Where's that mindset shift coming from?
Hmm. Well, I feel like the mindset required to do it is maybe different from the mindset that makes you want to do it. Does that make sense? Like when you're actually in the middle of working on it, you got to make sure your mindset's staying in check. But there's also a motivation and a drive that leads to to make the goal in the first place. So for me, I've had written down like this for the past, I don't know, 6 months. I've been writing down, I want to write $50,000 in 1 month in business before the end of the year. And I've been like working towards, I've been trying to gear up for it. And I'm like, well, okay, there's 2 months left. Why not make it this month? Why wait until we're doing it? It's just like we're deciding, we're gunning for it right now. And not to mention, I saw Clark. He texted me. He was going to make November this charge month for himself too. I'm like, well, that's a perfect timing. We can do it together. We can work together, hold each other accountable, which is another big piece of that. Like having somebody else who's also driven towards a similar kind of goal. Um, but there's been mornings, Clark will attest to this too, where there's been pockets of a day where it's like, this does not feel like it's um and keeping in mind, like Mike and Jalen always say, the business is going to work itself out, um, because it's just one more call or maybe 10 more calls. And then guess what? You get the person on the line who's been waiting for a call or who's actually ready to talk. And then you're actually able to help them make an impact on their family. And for me, it's just because I had on Friday, you know, it's not uncommon to get cussed out or people to be rude to you, but there's some days where it's like, that's just everything I'm getting. Everybody's being rude, like every single, like literally every call. It's all right. That's part of it. Give it to me. Punch me in the face. I don't care. Like that's just what it's going to be today. I know there's going to be somebody on the phone I'm going to talk to who's not going to be like that. I just need to push through and keep going and keep digging there. And you have to reset because for me, it's easy to be like, okay, I'm going to carry in that feeling or that expectation in the next call, but it's a totally new person. They don't know who you are. They didn't just get called by you, and it's easy for us to think they're all connected when they're not. They're disconnected, each individual people. So not allowing each call to win and die by each, or live and die by each call, trying to have a fresh mindset for each one, and then in a bigger sense for each day too, not allowing a few hours or half a day to to dictate your expectations for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, the rest of the month. Taking it one step at a time.
Put in the chat, what feedback, what takeaway you get from that? What I took away from that, Jack, is that you're just letting the numbers play itself out.
Mm-hmm.
You're letting the numbers, you're letting the leads play itself out. You're not getting too high, you're not getting too low. You just understand based upon your skill set you have now, based upon your lead flow you have now, it is inevitable for you not to go home without a sale as long as you stay locked in for your mindset, be happy and grateful, and you play the numbers in your favor. Go ahead, Clark. Put in the chat. What would you take away from Jack's feedback just now? Go ahead, Clark.
What Mike said was that, like, it's 90% mental. In the video I posted last night, I was saying this industry is like, I don't remember if I said 90%, but I said it's a majority between the ears. Like it's up here. And aiming for this goal, what brought me to like want to do this was just, hey, I've seen my, like, on 50 leads a week, I had my best month at like 68, 67,000. I was like, if I could double that that lead spend and increase my work time, could I hit the 6-figure goal? I've just always had that in the back of my head. And I came off a couple months that were just harder personally for me, just like in my personal life, not even business, but that impacted business. So I was like, I really want to like reset and take the reins back and end this year strong. So this was, as much as it is to like show other agents what's possible, it's also just to hold myself accountable and hold myself to a standard. But I'm seeing this, like, anything that if you increase or magnify, it will like draw out the truths of that thing, if that makes sense. And or the principles that it require, the principles that are true, that are required to be successful in a thing, will be magnified the larger a goal is. Does that make sense? And it will make things more evident. And all the things that you hear on these calls from Jalen and from Mike and other coaches and leaders, I'm finding to be more and more true as I'm aiming for this goal, i.e., activity, leads, and attitude. Like I just keep coming back to all of that. And I'm seeing having an abundance mindset in terms of opportunity, leads, time to aim for that goal, all of those things. That is those are the key factors, and very little of it. Yes, you need to be good at objection handling or preventing the objection in the first place, or your tonality, or you need to have your script mastered. Of course, that's like having running shoes before you run a marathon, right? But could you run a marathon in, like, Crocs? I guess you probably could. It'd be a lot harder. Uh, but guess what it's going to take? It's going to take a killer mindset, right? So to me, the things that people are always hitting me up for, oh, what's your leads? What's your script? What's your that to me are running shoes. And different coaches and different uplines and systems, they all have different running shoes. And if they're worth their salt, they're probably going to be okay for a marathon. What gets you across the finish line in a marathon is your mind. When you hit mile 19 and you're like, ah, crud, my body's breaking down and I don't feel great, right? It's not your shoes that carry you. There's not a set of shoes that get you across the line. It's your brain. It's what's happening between your ears, and what you're looking ahead at. So, yeah, yesterday I had, sincerely, if you all have ever wondered, or if you're alone in this, you're not. I had like 8 hours of silence, like, for real. I had a husband and wife in the morning. I had a decent app like an hour after that, and I think from like 1 p.m. to what 9, I don't think I talked to one person that wanted to talk to me. I got hung up on 10 times. I got sworn at. I was getting really pissed. I was like, and I was already a little behind the ball. I wanted to at least be on pace for my goal for the 100K, and I was like 2,800 behind. And I was like, this is really discouraging. And it's dark out, and I can't call East Coast leads confidently anymore. I could bug them. So now I'm calling Mountain Time and West Coast, and they're not answering. And sure enough, I called a West Coast lead last night, or a Mountain Time lead in New Mexico. She picked up and said, "Oh, I already got that. I already got that." And I'm like, "Look," and quick backstory. I for real looked at the clock. I was like, I'm gonna call it. I'm done. This is so frustrating. I'm gonna reset and hit tomorrow really hard and just bounce back and catch up. Like I'm just gonna make tomorrow massive. And then I was like, no, like you publicly declared this goal. You privately have held yourself to a standard, and you're just gonna call it at 8:30. You've worked till 11 some nights. Keep pushing. So I was like, all right, just at that point, I'm in autopilot. I'm just hitting dial. I'm annoyed. And then sure enough, this lady picks up, gives me the same runaround I've been getting all day. And she's like, oh, I just got that today, actually. I'm like, okay. And I was like, oh, same thing. Oh, I'm glad you got something in place. Do you mind me asking, what it is that you got in place, just to make sure I can close your case, and that we know you have the right kind of coverage? And she told me it was for her mother, and she was paying like $40 a month too much. And I was like, that, and I could genuinely say, man, that sounds very high. Like would it make sense for us to chat? And she let me stay on, and sure enough, uh, beat her mother's price, got her applied, and then we're ending. And with that, I had tied. I was like, all right, I'm on track here. Or I was like 100 behind pace. And she said, are you sure there's not something cheaper for my mom? And I was like, well, this is the cheapest thing I could find, ma'am. And she's like, okay, well, I'm only paying 98 for mine. And I'm like, oh. And I was like, okay, 98, like for how much coverage? And she told me, and I was like, ma'am, you're only 60. Like that is absolutely high. So I was like, do you want to see what I could find you? Sure enough, found something for her that was $24 cheaper a month. Sub that app, and then it put me about $500-600 above pace. So anyway, my point is this: I was reminding myself and teaching myself the same things I'm saying to you all day yesterday. I was like ready to throw it in, and I tell agents all the time, you have a long list of leads, and yes, half of them might be busy or go spam protections on. They might have just gotten something, whatever. I don't know. They're at the doctor, they're at the grocery, their grandson's over. I don't know. But one person is sitting there in that list. I believe that every time. There's one person sitting there watching Monday Night Football, like Miss Lucille was, and and she's just ready. She's just sitting there ready to take the call. And it's up to us to have the willingness to dial and just keep putting in the activity to find that person. You just got to connect with the person. But that doesn't happen if I would have stopped calling. Miss Lucille sits there and she's paying now $68 a month too much for her and her mother. And they don't have that kind of money. So it was just activity meeting the opportunity. That's it. Or creating that opportunity.
I love that, man. And guys, you guys can hear me in the chat. Okay, I put in 7-7 in the chat. Also, what was your takeaway from Clark just now? What was your takeaway from Clark just now? Put in the chat your takeaway from Clark. What I took away from Clark just now is the power of one more. And I may be cutting out a little bit, but guys, but just bear with me. But the power of one more. I learned the power of one more. And guys, I'm telling you, you're probably sitting here at Mike. I'm getting all this information on a group call. Just after this group call was a one-on-one call. After this group call was a one-on-one call with Clark or Jack and myself, and I want you to take the information and apply it. Don't think because it's a group call it doesn't apply to me. No, that's a backward mindset. Back in 2021, when I was in my second month in the business, I saw Jalen. We were both roommates at the time. and Jalen was at a client's house at 9:30 p.m. And we were roommates at the time, and I was at home watching Netflix. Be honest, my second month in the business, 2021, and I said, "Wow, things have to change here." And I saw Jalen go out there and help like 45 families in 1 month, and at that time, I was helping literally 10 families. And I said, "Man, is that all it takes? Just going longer? Is that all it takes? It's just me going longer." So I'm gonna remind you today, if you want more, you have to pay the price of more. You have to. There's no sugarcoating it. And Clark just told you now, he did over 25 or 30,000 in sales last week and told you just now, yesterday he went 8 hours of no talk time. So, Jack, real quick, give me a short answer here. How many dials or presentations did you do, let's say, last week on a given day?
On a given day,
Yeah.
at least 300.
How many
Present-
presentations?
Presentations, probably 3 to 4, give or take.
Clark,
in a day.
how many dials are you doing, let's say last week, just for example, and how many presentations are you doing each day? And I'm assuming both of you guys are saying presentation is showing quotes.
You said how many dials in my week?
No, how many dials are you doing per day? How many
Per day.
presentations?
Yeah, I mean, minimum 300, minimum. I mean, there was a day where I think it was close to 5. Like it was, I called one lady, like, I think I looked at my dials. I called her like 23 times in a day. Cause she had said she and her husband need something and she's not answering now. I called her from like 6 different numbers. I was just like, but and then presentations, getting to quotes per day, probably about 6 presentations.
Like you're averaging 6 presentations per day.
Last week, yeah.
And then Jack, you're doing 4 per day.
Yep.
So what's your guys' like daily AP or daily income goal? And if you guys don't hit that, what are you guys doing to hit that?
So I'm working 26 days of this month to hit the 100K, which averages out to about 3850, 3,850 AP a day. I'm not aiming for just that. I'm aiming for 4 just to call it even. So that way I'm like, give myself, if I aim for 3,850 and I fall short, then I'm behind. So I'm just aiming for that extra little cushion. I'm just calling it 4. And if I don't think I've ended a day behind except this past Sunday. And that I only got to work like an hour of that day and I had family stuff. So that pumps me up. Like when I know I'm behind, I'm like go into the next day like you're gonna make this a fat day. Like I hope I can do it. I'm already, I believe in affirmations. I don't know if I believe in like, I don't get super woo woo with like the manifesting and all that, but I do believe that like not saying, oh, I hope so versus I'm gonna do this. I do believe that changes your outlook and your attitude and your approach for the day. I guess that, and then Jack saw me November 1st and 2nd was last Saturday and Sunday, and I put up 2 goose eggs in a row. My Kaboom order hadn't started rolling because it was over the weekend. So I was calling all age leads. I set like 5 appointment on age leads, but I could not close them. So I came in like, what was it? $5,000 behind pace to start on Monday. So I was like, I got to get $5,000 from Saturday, Sunday, and then I got to get my $4,000 for Monday. And that day I did what? I think it was like 10,300. It was my best sales day, period. because all my leads were flowing in, and that was just a particularly the hot day. But I came in, I was just like, all right, I'm not even gonna count my AP at this point. I'm just ripping dials and getting people on the phone, and we'll add it up later, kind of thing. So
How many leads, roughly, how many leads are you having coming in each week right now, Clark? And then you go second, Jack.
100 a week for this goal.
What about you, Jack?
I'm getting about 100 now. Yeah.
Both doing 100 leads a week. What do you guys think the difference between going from 50 leads a week to 100 leads a week? And guys, if you're doing face to face, that's probably equivalent to doing like 100 digital leads a week to like 200 digital leads a week. So what's the difference between going from 50 over the phone leads a week to 100 leads? What does that do for you guys now?
I mean, it doubles your opportunity of people to talk to. And it for me, it's like, it's actually hard to, it's harder to, because when you have 50, I'm calling them so many more times. When you have 100, I still have to get to more leads. I've just had it, maybe you make a sale. I still have like 75 people I haven't even dialed yet when they're coming in, because I'm busy working other groups there. So there's a lot more people to call. There's really, for me, it's like there's no excuse not to call. Like Clark said, there's a long list. Somebody in that list, not from this week, but also previous weeks, has got to be ready to talk, right? So it only increases your opportunity to actually connect with somebody.
Good, Clark.
It's just that abundance mindset. It's the abundance mindset. I have an abundance of leads, which is an abundance of opportunities. I heard Chris Ball say at a boot camp that a lead is nothing more than an opportunity
Yep.
for a conversation. And I love that. We get, it allows us to become resentful when we get when I'm like yesterday, I was starting to get resentful. I'm like, y'all filled this out. You didn't take care of your money throughout your whole life, and now your daughter has to pay for your funeral, and you're getting mad at me. Like I start to get in that, like, what are you doing? Help me help you kind of thing. And I had to reset and be like, they don't really know what this is. They don't know. It's on me to do a good job and explain it and get past those walls and build that trust and break down those barriers. So it's nothing more than an opportunity for a conversation, and then it's up to us to convert on that conversation, and hopefully what is the Tony Robbins quote? People won't change until the change of staying the same outweighs the change of, or the pain of, goodness gracious, until the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change. And so our job is to make sure that they feel the pain of staying where they're at is greater than the pain of giving old Clark your social, right? So that's what it is. So having an abundance of those opportunities for those conversations gives you more reps, and especially guys, if you're early on, you need as many of those reps as you can, right? That's why the conversation of age leads versus new leads when you're a new agent. Listen, it's harder to get age leads on the phone and have a decent conversation, and we want you to have solid reps and fail fast on quality conversations, right? And you'll learn faster that way, and then get up to where you need to be and start being profitable. So, but yeah, it's just doubling your opportunity. So
This is a really, come on, look at that. Brothers on the call, man. I think it's just so cool to see just brothers on this call. I don't think there's not many businesses you can do it with your brother. I have so many questions to ask you guys. And towards the end of the call, I'll let you guys freestyle and kind of talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. You guys are both dialing also in the same room, which I think is huge. I mean, proximity is power. I mean, you're both dialing in the same room. It's not no sexy office space. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's a sexy office space, but I think it's also powerful that people, if you just understand that you don't need to be in an office setting, but you can just be and get together with other like-minded people and work together, because success does happen in community and failure does happen in isolation. And if you guys can understand that, Jack and Clark, what they've done this month is that, hey guys, we're gonna dial together. We're gonna hold each other accountable to what we said we're gonna do, which is powerful. Let's talk about this, guys. You know, Clark, I think you joined the agency, I believe a year ago today. I think Jack, you joined the agency also a year ago today. Talk about your first few months in this business and looking back now, like, just talk about it. It's looking back now, like, what would you say to that person that's in their first 2, 3, 4, 5 months in this financial services space, doing life insurance with us or different agency? What would you say to that person? Looking back, like, and first talk about your experience your first few months, and then looking back now.
Yeah, we actually, yeah, it was, I would say, Mike, it was about a year ago around like this week when I started seeing more traction. We started in
Mhm.
September, part-time.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And the thing I heard from you was give it 90 days, give it 6 months. Like, just the thing is, the difference between the people that actually see success and those that don't see success is the people that chose to stay and to stick it out and to take things on the chin are the ones who are ultimately going to see success. Because I think the stat, like, what is it? Like the 8%, like Cody Askins, 8% of agents actually make it through and succeed. Um, I don't know the exact percentage, but a vast majority of the people that actually fail out, it's within the first month or two, right? So that's the time crunch there. Because people start doing it, they realize, oh, it isn't just like people handing you money easily. It takes hard work. You have to actually show up and put in effort, and you have to go through a learning curve of building your skill set. That takes time. And you have to actually believe in yourself and dedicate and be determined. Like, no, even though this day didn't go the way I wanted, even though that week didn't go the way I wanted, I'm not giving up because I know I'm going to start seeing more results and seeing improvement. So for me, the first month, one sale. By the way, that sale I didn't see a payment on until probably 6 months in because it fell off the books because of whatever reason. It never was issued because she never paid it. Because then I was trying to call her and she's like, oh, let's start it this month. Oh no, let's start it that month. And then we finally got it. And by the way, when I got it, I was able to get her a better, she was actually healthier that time. So I got her day one coverage. Anyway, point is, I didn't even see a profit from that or any income from that for several months. So we could essentially wash that off the table and say no sales in the first month. The next month I had a few more, and then November, again doing it part-time. And now looking back now, I'm like, that would not be good enough for now. But I was like on cloud nine. Like, I'm actually having conversations. I feel I'm able to actually work through the discovery. I feel confident in my objection handling. I'm actually able to walk people through an application confidently. I'm able to help people get coverage in place. So that was happening more regularly, and then in December as well. But yeah, for me, it was that shift going into full time where this is the only thing I'm focusing on. That's when I saw things really take a turn, where I'm doing in one day what I did in my first month or in my first
Mm.
few months, or I'm doing in a week what I couldn't have done in 3 months. And so but that only happened because I didn't quit. And even now, like, there's, Mike, you could attest to this, especially as you're building a business, there's just brand new challenges you didn't know would come your way. And when it's new, you're like, oh, how am I going to do this? Because you don't know, it's brand new. But the only way you succeed through that is by sticking with it. The message is the same at any stage of the business. So even now, I might be writing a lot more policies and getting a lot more issued business than I ever did at the beginning. But now I have new challenges. How do I make things more sticky? How do I get better at keeping people on the phone so I can convert contacts to presentations? I'm getting way more presentations than I used to, but there's still room for growth. So there's always a new challenge, always a new obstacle that I've been even reflecting on this morning. And again, the message is the same. You just can't give up. You have to keep sticking with it.
Before you go, Clark, Jack, real
Yeah.
quick, what do you think your persistency is right now? I have a good understanding of it. I look at the numbers from time to time. Like, so persistency is pretty much how many clients you're writing up and how many of them are paying for their policies and getting approved for a policy. Because this business, people talk about final expense sales has a bad persistency in X, Y, Z. But for you, you have a great persistency. Do you know what it is percentage wise, roughly?
I don't know the exact. I've been actually trying to figure out
Rough.
how to calculate that data, but roughly it's between 70 to 80% for me.
That's amazing. That means that if you write 40 policies in a month or 30 policies in a month, 24 of them are going to stick for a long time, probably forever, and only 6 of them will fall off. What are you doing? Give me like 4 to 5 things
Yeah.
you're doing to have a strong persistency.
Yeah. Um, I'm not an order taker.
Mm.
So if they're like, just what's the cost? I mean, sometimes you have to play ball a bit and like act like they're in control, but they're not, and you're going to try and work it around. I even tell people on the phone, I'm like, I'm not really interested in help in walking you through this unless you think it actually make a difference for your family. And then asking them, like trying to, I mean, that just goes back into the stakes, making sure we're actually addressing that so you know what need you're actually serving. But it's not only that, it helps the client because sometimes they don't even know. They don't even know what their need is until that you ask them the question and then they realize, oh wow, I don't know what my daughter would do in this situation. And it makes them realize how much more they needed it. They knew a little bit because they fill out the card, they fill out the request, but they don't really know until they have a conversation. So it's not just this annoying thing to try and get them to try and get you a sale. It's actually helping the client when we have those conversations and help them feel good about what they're doing. That's the beginning part. But at the end, we're not just like, hey, we got you approved, bye. Or you'll get a policy in the mail, see ya. It's like it's the cool down, the art of the cool down, which Mike you teach on so well and you've helped me a lot with mine as well. So something I'm doing, it's either in the middle of the application or right as I'm waiting for the decision to load when it's already loaded, I'm having them actually put my name in their phone as a contact. And I'm like, do you know how to do that? Sometimes they're, oh yeah, for sure. And sometimes they're, yeah, we'll figure it out. And I'm making sure they're putting it in there. They're putting in my name as however they want to remember me by, Jack Insurance Guy, whatever. They're putting it in there. So that way they can contact me easily. And then if I need to reach them, because there's insufficient funds or something, I'm able to actually call them and they recognize my number. Some people don't pick up, can't control that, but the percentage of people that will pick up is a lot higher when they actually remember you and they know that you're their agent. And then you can call and say, hey, this is just your agent, not, hey, I'm trying to sell you insurance. That's already done. I'm just trying to make sure your family is still protected when I need to follow up. That's that part there. But the cool down is also making sure they actually know what they did is important. They feel good about it. So once they're approved, it's like, how do you feel? Congratulations. And then having them discuss it. And then oftentimes they're like, oh, I just feel so much better. They verbalize how differently they're just grateful that they actually finally took care of it. And then it's congratulating them on that. And then we're making sure that we're setting expectations moving forward. Hey, if there's ever an issue, just promise me this. If there's ever an issue with affordability, you'll let me know so we can figure out the best next steps. If ever anybody ever reaches out to you and they're trying to talk to you about your options with insurance, you don't have to talk to them if you don't want to, but if you do, feel free. I'm only asking that before you make any decisions, call me up so we can review their offer. I want to make sure that what they're talking to you about is in your best interest. And most of the time, some people are like, wow, that's really, I appreciate you saying that. Other times, like, yeah, sounds good. That makes sense. I'll do that. And I've had people call me because so and so called them up and told them they can get such and such policy. And I've not had an instance yet where it's been actually true. Like I've had people trying to fudge the numbers a little bit with my clients, and I'm actually trying to protect them from doing something that actually isn't best for them. Because I think it's our job, it's my job to take it seriously. And I tell them this to find them the best possible option that's available for them for their family. Otherwise, we're not applying for the application for the policy. Yeah, so those are some things there that I make sure we go over in the cool down. I maybe did a little bit of out of order, but those are the principles there to follow.
Are you doing like thank you cards as well?
Oh, yes, yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you card to everybody. I'm writing thank you cards to people that even if like in the first week they cancel or like the insufficient, well, they're still getting a thank you card. I'm like, that's gonna put it in their mind again. Yeah, they're still getting a thank you card. And for me, the way I phrase it too is less of a thank you. It's more of like, I appreciate the opportunity to serve your family. And it's still affirming what they did. You made an important decision that's going to change, that's going to impact your family moving forward. And I'm looking forward to serving your family. That's essentially what the card is. It's again
What if
affirming with their decision.
what if the client is like, hey Jack, I get paid each month on the 3rd, but I want to pay on the 6th of the month because it feels good to do that day. How are you handling that conversation?
Hey, unfortunately, well, not sorry, wouldn't say that. Yeah, Mr. Mike, their policy with the companies that they have to have it coincide with your Social Security payment. So I get that. It'll have to be on the 3rd though, but rest assured, the way that works, it's only coming out after you've been paid, so it won't be too early. There are some people though, I'll say, their situation is different. Like they actually have a job and they have an income and they're receiving Social Security and like, hey, I pay my bills on the 6th. It's better for and they're just different. They actually do their money and they're actually organized and you can tell it's like, okay. And that there are some instances where it makes sense, but for most of our clients, no, it's like the policy is it's on the 3rd. It's got to be coinciding with your Social Security. You don't really make it an option and they just go with it.
And how many carriers are you using right now?
Consistently,
Yeah.
2 to 3.
No, you lying because people use like 5 or 6 right now.
No,
It can't be true.
no, 2 to 3. There's some outliers here and there, but it's 2 to 3.
Only 2 or 3.
Yeah.
What are those
Yep.
2 or 3?
American Amicable, Transamerica, and then a guaranteed issue.
I love it. I love it. So what I got for you is that you're not an order taker. I love that. Your make sure the client saves your number in their phone. You have a proper cooldown. You do thank you cards and make sure every client is paying the day they get paid as well.
Yep.
I love that. That's big,
Yep.
guys. The persistency is huge. Clark, man, we got the last 15 minutes of this call, man. We can freestyle whatever you want to freestyle with. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Anything you want to talk about, Clark, specifically? Anything you want to talk about that will bring value?
One thing I was thinking while we were talking there is another example just quickly of again, principles I'm seeing played out as we're aiming for a big goal that we're told by our uplines and coaches on here all the time, is doing it in community and having like accountability that's close to you. And Jack's been over here in my basement calling with me almost every day. And a lot of those moments would have been a lot harder for me. Like in that 8-hour period, it weirdly helps to just be able to lean back for a second and say something off color to Jack and complain for a second. And then he'll be like, laugh. And then we keep pressing on. Right. Like it's a lot easier when you're sitting alone, to maybe open Instagram or scroll for a second. So, just having that accountability and encouragement, and he's been a huge encourager for me. Absolutely. As I've been pushing through this. So, but that we have these dial rooms open and they're not nearly as full as they need to be. When I get on, Anchor Point should not have as many people as the main room has. What are we doing? Do you want to get better or not? Right? Get in a room. And that's not a slight, it's available, it's pushed. Mike and Jalen are pushing it. What are we doing? You either want this or you don't. And it's pretty easy to not hold yourself accountable off camera. So flip that camera on and get in here and ask questions and dial and all of that. So these resources are not here to be cute. They're here because Mike and Jalen see them work. And I've seen them work, and anybody who's seen success in this business has seen those principles played out work. So don't be like me when I first started part-time and think that you can do it on your own or think that you can rewrite the book. Time and time again, every time I thought I could rewrite the book, I don't know why I came in and I'm like, all right, Mike and Jalen have they're run, they're wildly successful in this, but it's my first month. I'll figure it out. Just run the play. Like trust your upline that they have your best interest in mind. They're not telling you random things just to sound decent, like sound good. It's for a reason. So, I would say before you say this business is not for you, take an honest inventory. Not that that many people are on the brink there, but if you are in that spot, take an honest inventory and say, am I doing everything that I'm being told to do and I can do and am capable of doing? And if you're not, then don't point the finger outside of yourself and fix what needs to be fixed in-house before you point it outside.
No, I love, man. I love that. I mean, I know you and Jack are always on the live down session. You got a lot of down sessions open every single day of the week. We have some great people on there. We have some underwriting genies on there like Patrick France and Paul Miller. You got to take advantage of those resources there. Clark, I'm sure you would attest that, this business is 90% mindset, 90% belief, 90% will set. But having that skill set is also important too, right? You can have 100 kaboom leads coming in every single week, but if you're not, like you said, you're not able to overcome that. I already have insurance in the beginning of the call. If you're not able to overcome that, I need to think about it. You're talking to that person beginning of the call or a door knock, whatever it is. I need to overcome. I don't have time. It's gonna be challenges to even present. So if you don't mind, man, let's do some objection handling, because I think this does help people out a lot. And help me out too, Clark. Like when it comes to objection handling, what is your perception on it?
Mm.
And like how, I think once again, it's mindset too. Like, what is your perception on when you get that objection from the client? Before we hop into what you actually said, when you get that, I don't have time, beginning of the call, what goes through your mind?
I I just kind of like I genuinely kind of laugh. Like it's not said to our agents the other day, like just don't give them don't give the objection oxygen. Like don't make it real. I if I could pick on Jack real quick, it was early on in this is his first job in sales, by the way. He's never sold before this job. So that makes what he's doing even more impressive. But again, you got lumps you're taking and you're figuring out sales and all of that. And Mike and Jalen would coach on early, like, if they said they didn't fill it out or they don't remember it, being like, oh, that's concerning. Let me make sure, nobody's using your information to try to take out insurance, whatever, and verify and then go through what they put on the form, which is great if you tap it real quick. But Jack would like launch a full FBI investigation sometimes. He'd be like, "Oh my goodness, well let me text my friend at the NSA and this is deeply concerning. Can we get Cash Patel on the line?" Like I was like, "Brother, like don't get that deep in the weeds here." Uh, you know. So that's what I mean by don't give it oxygen. Don't make it more real than it is. Oh, that's fine, ma'am. I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. It looks like you put your city is Columbus, Ohio, and you put your beneficiaries here as your children. Did you get that taken care of for your kids? Do you have cover? Just like keep it pushing. So, um, I know that it's usually not real unless they are genuinely drive. If I can hear grandkids in the back seat and they're in the car and it's chaos, I'm not really believing it's the wrong time. I hear the TV, I hear Jeopardy playing, and they're like, "Oh, I'm busy," and I'm like, "You're not busy though. Like you're not." So, um, and I will. The more bold you are, I really believe it. I think it gets me across the line more often than not. I've said, "Are you pretty busy with Jeopardy? I can hear it back there, man." Like or like just call it like say things that you would break the pattern. It interrupts their pattern of what they're expecting from salespeople, but also it makes you feel like a human to them. You don't have to be rude um or aggressive about it necessarily, but yeah, I just try to speak to them like humans in that and then keep it pushing. But I know 95% of those objections are smoke screens. Because because the pain of staying the same is not yet greater than the pain of change. And that's what I'm trying to get them to. So they're just trying to get me off the phone. They don't want to be sold to and I don't have their trust yet. So especially those early objections, they're just trying to get on with their Jeopardy or their honey buns or whatever they're doing in their day. Um, all of it
I
is
love
obviously more important than their daughter paying for their funeral, of
it.
course.
Yeah. So how do you overcome? You call the client. So give me your opening line. I give you an objection. You handle it. See how it goes.
Okay,
You can call me whenever you're ready.
ring ring.
Hey, hey there.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, Mike. Hey, sorry, this is just Clark. So I'm an underwriter here in your area. I was getting back to you. It looks like in the last few days here, you put in a request for more information on burial and final expense coverage. You in Columbus, it looks like.
Yeah, man, but I already have insurance. Like I actually got that a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, okay. I figured you already had something. Most people that fill this out already have something. When you were filling this out, were you looking to just see if there's something cheaper or make sure you have the right coverage, or what got you filling that out?
Good. Love that. Guys, put in the chat 1 through 10. All right, next one. Yeah, I don't have no time right now at all. I gotta go to my doctor's appointment. It starts here the next hour.
Okay, well, this isn't going to take an hour, man. How or sir, how far is the doctor from you?
It's literally 10 minutes down the road.
Okay. Well, how about this, Mike? Let's chat real quick and make sure we're on the same page. And if we hit a point where you got to leave, you hang up on me. But I want to make sure we at least figure out if it even makes sense for us to talk here or if I can help you out. So on the form, you put your beneficiaries, your kids. Do you have something for your kids or?
Okay, cool. All right, guys, put in chat 1 through 10 in the chat for Clark, and he wants honest feedback. All right, next one. Yeah, I did not fill that out. Who you work for again?
Yeah, oh, you said you didn't fill. Well, let me make sure real quick. I honestly forget, what I had for breakfast this morning, Mike. You put your email here as Mike dot Quartang at Gmail. Your city here is Columbus. And your favorite hobby is being swole, and then your beneficiary is as your kids here. Do you have something for them? Like,
Man, honestly, I don't have anything in place. I just don't have enough money, honestly. Like I'm on Social Security.
okay. Well, yeah, honestly, most 90% of my clients are on Social Security. That's actually what this program was designed for, Mike, is to make sure people on Social Security, disability, limited income are able to still take care of that for their family. And so you're not paying anything today for this. We're just making sure, A, that you qualify, and see if it even makes sense for us to work together. So, how many kids do you have, Mike?
That's good. All right, let's fast forward. Let's fast forward. You're in discovery now. Your discovery, fact finding, something why the client needs insurance. You get the, hey man, can you get to the quotes, please? Like, can we get to the quotes faster? Like, I don't really have much time right now. Can you just get to the quotes, please?
Yeah, Mike, I would love to, sir. It's not really a one size fits all. You ever get those like mailers from, you ever get like a mailer from like Globe Life or Mutual of Omaha? Have you gotten those like quotes in the
All
mail?
all the time.
Right, I'm sure you do, and you see those on the TV. So the difference here is rather than trying to to cram you into a policy, we're actually going to match a policy to you, right? When you find those mailers, that's not taking into account your age or your health. It's going to come with a 2-year waiting period because of that. What we're looking for is to find you day one and make sure we're actually finding you the lowest cost. To do that, I just have to ask you a couple questions here, but I promise you that is what we're getting to. So here on the form, blank.
Awesome. All right, let's fast forward. We're now in the closing part of the script. I know you don't get this a lot, but let's just say you did get it. I don't want to give out. I need to think about this, Clark. Like I need to talk it over with my family. I need to think about this.
Okay. So Mike, so just let me understand. Of course I figured you'd think about it. Wait, earlier when you were saying, that Jeremy and Melissa couldn't cover this if you did pass without coverage. Like, what do you think they would say, if you were talking to them and you let them know that you got this taken care of? What would they say?
Honestly, they'll be probably just happy I got it done. I mean, they wouldn't mind. I mean, it's my money.
All right. Yeah, and you were, I mean, I know you said God forbid, like Mike, we want you around as long as we can have you. But if you were to pass, they're looking at doing a GoFundMe or like a loan. We didn't want that. So this is just kind of taking the first step. When you get approved here, Mike, what we'll do, they'll tell us on the phone, and then they're going to send you a policy packet in the mail, like a hard copy. And then what I want you to do is take that to Jeremy and Melissa, look it over, give me a ring, and the four of us can talk about any questions you have. And then that way we know, hey, you're approved, you have this in hand, you actually have something to talk to them about. Until we know if you're approved, you don't even have anything to talk or think about. So what we can do, like of those three, you said that middle one was probably the best. Is that right? Okay. Well, let's do this, Mike. Let's apply for that lower one. So that way, God forbid, worst case, if you get approved, they're not left with zero, right? Maybe we're not leaving anything extra. But at the very least, they're not coming out of pocket for. I know that was your main concern. I mean, is there something else? Did I miss something? Would they be able to cover this if if you, God forbid,
No,
if you were to pass? Okay.
they definitely can't cover it. They don't have money like Jack does.
Okay. All right. Well, so I'll open the application here and then we'll knock this out in a couple minutes here and then I'll get you on with your afternoon. Okay.
Boom, love it, guys. Masterpiece training call, masterpiece. I mean, we can hang out all day long. I feel like honestly, this is a really good one. This call is also recorded, guys, so you can listen to it later. Jack, Clark, last few minutes, last few seconds. Anything you guys want to share before everyone rocks into their amazing Tuesday? Man, I just think like it's really November right now, and I always think about people like new year, new me. And like that really irks me because people just realize that every single day is it's a blessing and you can find gratitude in every single thing in your life. You wouldn't wait until January to start this whole new year, new me. You would start today.
Hmm.
So that's my two senses before we end the call. But Jack,
I
Clark, you guys got.
listen. I'm gonna come with the quotes. Not the insurance quotes, but the quotes. Two for you to take into your day. The first is failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Um, when you get, that's Henry Ford. When you get a rejection, right? Well, I forget. I said rejection is not failure; it's feedback. Rejection is not failure; it's feedback. Something in your call, there was not enough trust built, there was enough urgency built, there wasn't enough rapport. Something. So don't take it as rejection. Don't take that rejection as failure. Take it as feedback. There's something you need to tweak. Doesn't mean a whole system overhaul. But if you just keep getting the same rejection and you just keep doing the same thing, you're not coming back more intelligently. So go back to the drawing, send recordings to coaches, get feedback and tweak it. I want to shout out Nick Desatel. I don't know if he's on this call or not, but he came to me and he came out hot. He came out the gate hot his first month. And then he had a week and a half or so where he just kept getting the same, getting hung up on banking and social, like without fail. And he's like, Clark, I don't know. He literally texted me. He's like, we need to go back to the drawing board. He just texted me SOS, back to the drawing board. Sent me a few recordings. We jumped on a call. We walked through what he was doing. And I forget his text, but he got like 5 straight apps after that. He hasn't run into that objection since. So he 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 recognized he needed the help, addressed it, applied the coaching, and he's rolling again, right? So I have that too. I'll have a day where I'm like, man, I keep getting the same thing. What is going on? And I have to do some self-assessment and be like, oh, it's your energy's off or whatever. Short little quote, but sales are contingent upon the attitude of the salesman, not the attitude of the prospect. That's the main thing to take into your day. The sale is contingent upon the attitude of the salesman, not the attitude of the prospect. I talked to 10 grumpy people yesterday. They still need help. Their family still needs my help. It's about my attitude. I told Jack this. My attitude is that I assume in everything I say that they find as much value in this as I do. So that comes across. It's almost like this is such a dumb example, but if Mike doesn't like Lord of the Rings, that's my favorite movies, right? If Mike doesn't like Lord of the Rings, but I know that they're great movies, and I start talking to Mike about how great they are, but like almost it's an assumed thing. They're the greatest, right? Mike might start to in his head go, should I give those another try? Right? Like he's talking about this with some passion, like he's talking about the special effects, all this, the story. I do the same thing in my sales process where I'm assuming in every word I say that they are motivated, they know the value of this, and they want to take care of this. And it like subconsciously challenges them to come to your level rather than their bad attitude bringing you down to theirs. Right? Where you're just like, oh yeah, I guess I'll throw you the quotes. Oh yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of dumb they ask us to do these health questions or whatever. Yeah, so you speak with the same conviction and passion to a bad attitude client as you would somebody who's like, I need this now and I have to protect my family, right? And it subconsciously will either pull them up to your level and across the finish line, or it's going to weed out the shoppers and it saves you time. That's all I got.
Jack, can you top that?
He's got it.
That's always great. Clark bringing the quotes. It's always good stuff. Yeah, I mean, the thing I would say, and maybe you all have heard me say it before, and it kind of connects to what we've been talking about. Have you guys ever had a challenging week? And then you reset and you're like, all right, new week, Monday, let's go. Time to start it. Time to have a better week. The thing about that is that at some point, like, say you feel like you're not seeing the results you want in a given day, and then we for some reason mark it off by weeks, or like Mike, you put to your point, new year, new me. We wait till January 1st for there to be a change. Like we're doing what clients do. It's like, oh, let me think about it and we'll do it later. Like, why not like today or 5 minutes from now can be a new and can be different than it was before. And because at some point when you feel like you maybe have a turnaround or kind of a comeback week, there had to be a specific day or a specific moment where that turned around. Why can't that be Tuesday morning? Why can't that be Tuesday afternoon after Tuesday morning didn't go the way you hoped when the appointment didn't show? Like it has to turn around at some point. Why not now? And the only way it happens is if we show up. So that's my thought.
I love it.
That's
Guys,
gold. That's gold.
that's super good. That's super good. Why not now? I love it. Well, I heard one quote: whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you are right.
Mike, that's on my my big board right here for my 100K challenge. That's the quote on there.
Yeah, man. And I'm always going to choose I can do it. So with that being said, having an absolute amazing day, guys. Apply the knowledge, just give them this call. Put some love in the chat for Jack and Clark. Root them on. And do that. Do a quick favor. Take a picture of Jack and Clark right now, post in your story, and say, these two gentlemen here are going to help over a lot of families in the month of November. It's going to encourage them to not come on this call December the 1st without that goal being it. I'm just taking a picture of them right now. I'm taking a picture. But have an amazing day, guys. See you guys next time.